Have you ever opened your LinkedIn inbox and thought, wow, this is a graveyard of copied and paste emails, nonsense, blah, 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 blah. Trash everywhere. Buyers feel the same way. But the good news is LinkedIn isn't broken, but most lead gen approaches that are being used by businesses, SDRs, BDRs, everyone marketing teams, they are. Look, I've heard all the excuses, folks. LinkedIn is dead. LinkedIn is just for job hunting. LinkedIn was ruined by the AI spam. I've heard it all before. But I've also seen the wins. I just saw a $70,000 deal close just last week because of a single LinkedIn post. I saw an SDR book 6 meetings in less than 2 hours after putting up a single post. Today, I'm going to share with you how to book real meetings without email blasts, without essay long DMs, without the bagging in of follow-ups to try to get somebody to just book a meeting and spending your entire budget on ads. I'm Ross Simmons, founder and CEO of Foundation, a marketing firm that has worked with some of the fastest growing brands and some of the largest companies in the world, helping them scale their LinkedIn and marketing channels. I have over 50,000 followers on LinkedIn and have generated over $2 million in direct revenue directly from LinkedIn this year alone. I'm also one of the LinkedIn Learning course providers. Folks, if you are here to generate practical, not cringe system for generating leads, you're in the right place. But before we get into it, if you want templates, checklists to plug into your stack, I want you to grab a free PDF guide that I've linked to below, Mastering Business Growth on LinkedIn. It expands on optimization, analytics, and campaign setup so you can execute at a higher level. Download it today. All right, now let's get into how you can use LinkedIn to be a lead generation magnet. Let's dive into it. Strategy number 1, you have to look easy to connect with. Most people really do advertise even though it's not intentional. I'm about to pitch you, even before they send a message. Here's a few ways that you can make sure that that doesn't come across when somebody visits your profile. The first fix that you need to take is looking at your headline. Remember, your headline should actually showcase and articulate how you help, not just your job title. A very bad headline would be Business Development at Acme. A better one would be helping RevOps leaders turn customers into case studies, or helping marketers see results from SEO. These are headlines that actually tell me why I should learn and connect with you. You could even have some fun with it. You could say, hey CMOs, are you tired of creating mediocre content? I'll help you create great content. This is a simple strategy that you can use to ensure that you come across as someone that is not going to pitch immediately as I accept your connection request. Another simple way to make sure that people don't feel like, oh, this person's just going to sell me, is to ensure that you have a friendly, clear, easy looking profile. What that means is you want to have a photo that seems fun, seems open, seems happy, excited, open to having a conversation and a connection. The second thing that you want to consider is the banner. On LinkedIn, everyone has this banner. In my banner, I have a call to action that clearly states who I am, what I'm all about. And you want to treat this banner kind of like your billboard, where you tell people what they're going to see if they follow you. Folks, your profile isn't just a resume, it's a landing page. So you want to articulate and showcase yourself in a way that gives credibility. If you've ever wondered how you can improve your banner, there's tools like Canva that can make it very easy for you to articulate and showcase the value that you offer to anybody who is willing to connect or follow with you. Another pro tip, if you are interested in touching up your photo and you just don't have any great ones, don't be afraid to tap into AI. There's a lot of AI tools out there that you can upload your photos, your images, and it will create a professional headshot for you in the matter of seconds. Again, these are some of the best ways that you can ensure that when people come across your profile, they're not seeing someone who they think, oh, this person is ready to sell. Instead, they see you as somebody who is ready to connect. And don't forget about your About section. There's a section on LinkedIn where you can articulate and summarize things about you. Give a quick breakdown on some of your wins and don't be humble. Brag a little bit, talk about the results that you generated on your last business at the last organization you worked at. Showboat a little. Show people why you are great and why they should reach out and why they should trust you. Don't make this things that your peers are going to think, oh, that's super cool. Make it things that your customers are going to think, oh, this is somebody that I need to know. All right, so after you have your photo set up, you have a banner set up, your About page, your About section is articulating clearly what value you can offer people, the next strategy is to stop playing the InMail lottery. A lot of people make the mistake every single day of just going through their LinkedIn feed and just sending action connections, a connection request to this person, that person, everyone in between. right? Without even knowing them. Sometimes people will see you on a street, you'll see you at a conference, and they'll send you a connection request. Don't be that person. Be the person who is sending connection requests with intention, and make it clear to the person, if you've never met them before, why you want to connect. One of my favorite things to do is ensure that if I'm sending a connection request, that I'm selecting the button that says add a note. And I'm not using a generic thing where I just say, hey, you look cool, so I want to connect with you. Or LinkedIn suggests that I connect with you. I'd love to connect. No, make it personalized. Tell people why you want to connect with them. And by doing so, they're going to have context around why they should hit that accept button instead of declining and making you get marked as a spammer. Another thing that you want to consider when you make these connections and not relying exclusively on the InMail blast and connection request blast to everybody you can find is to think about the folks who are connecting and engaging with your content. If you see that somebody is liking, commenting, or interacting with your posts, or even a peer, that is a great opportunity for you to then send another connection request. Again, there's context now. You can say to that person, I saw that you liked my CEO's post on X, Y, and Z, we should chat. Or I saw that you liked my post on a certain topic, we should chat so I can tell you a little bit more about how we've helped organizations just like yours achieve a certain thing. So many people send out these connection requests with no context, with no articulation of why they are interested in the connection, and they assume and expect people to accept. It doesn't work that way. You have to show people why, tell people why, and communicate and connect with them using intentional efforts rather than just connecting with everyone just for the sake of it. And here's a simple pro tip. Make sure, or at least try, to be connected to a few other people within their organization before you make the connection to them. People check on LinkedIn if you have mutual connections. And if there's no mutual connections, then you're going to see an increase in the amount of people hitting ignore. So make sure that you have a few connections first before you make that connection request to the person that you actually want to speak to. All right, so the third strategy is to keep things short and sweet. It's called the one-sentence DM framework. Folks, I don't know about you, but if I ever get a text message from somebody and it's an essay long, I'm turning off my phone and I'm walking the other way because I know it's just too much. Like, bro, I don't have time to read all that. LinkedIn is the same. No one wants to receive paragraph after paragraph. Treat it like a text message, like a good text message at that. Make an observation and then ask a question. If you are going to reach out to someone, then tell them with context why you're reaching out. Hey, I noticed that you're hiring this role. Do you want to learn a little bit more about how I might be able to help you find the person for this? Or it looks like you're creating a lot of content. Have you tested video? I think we could 10x your amount of impressions on LinkedIn. Or I see that your site is on this software. Have you been happy with the conversion rates? By providing context instead of just asking and pitching yourself, you're able to spark a reply. And that's what you want. You want to inspire a response. And if you are writing a massive essay, just think about the amount of energy that somebody is going to need to release just to consume it. It's a lot, right? So instead of writing a 3-paragraph InMail message, write 1 to 2 lines. Just ask someone specifically a question while making an observation of something that you have seen and noticed. And from there, you are able to get that reply. And that's what you want. So don't treat the DMs on LinkedIn like email. Treat them like a text message. But here's another thing that you should do. Ensure that those questions that you ask aren't just yes or no. So many people make the mistake of just saying, would you like to jump on a call? Yes or no. That's not a great question because they can shut you down really quickly. Instead, you want to ask them a question like, what are you hoping to achieve from this? What is your end goal from this? Have you found one strategy to work better than the other? And if so, how? Start to use open-ended questions to get people talking. By doing so, you're going to entice and start that conversation. And once the conversation and the DM start, that is where the relationship can truly begin. All right, let's talk about the fourth strategy for generating leads on LinkedIn that works today. So strategy number 4 is the pattern interrupt that you do during a follow-up. That's right. pattern interrupts. This is what I just did. Don't circle back 5 times. Instead, you have to change the medium, shake things up, make people surprised by the way in which you're engaging with them. For example, you might send them a 30-second voice note instead of a text. Smile while you're recording, they can actually hear it. Or maybe you're gonna send them a casual selfie video where you're gonna pull out your phone and you're gonna say, "Hey Roz, I just wanted to follow up with you and give you a quick heads up that while I'm out of office today, I'll be back tomorrow and I would love to connect with you on a certain thing." These are the types of conversations and deliverables that you can put into somebody's inbox on LinkedIn that stands out, because nobody can automate that or audio at scale. And these have some of the highest response rates. Folks, if you are brave enough to hit record, you are going to stand out instantly, especially amongst the sea of AI-generated follow-ups. Do things that break the pattern and make you stand out amongst the rest. The 5th strategy is to build trust with content. And this is probably my favorite piece of advice. Here's the shift. If you want consistent inbound, you can't just DM people. You need to become known. You need to create this persona that embodies everything that you want people to think about you and how you can provide a solution. Remember to embrace what I like to call the 4 E's. Educate, engage, entertain, and empower. When you are creating content, you should ensure that your content is either educating people about things that you could support them with, you're engaging with them by having a 2-way dialogue, you're entertaining them by being okay, sharing memes and things of that nature, and you're empowering others by celebrating the success of maybe your clients and beyond. Screenshots of success, results, etc. always does well on LinkedIn. One of the things that you want to do is identify a few content pillars. And these are themes and ideologies and concepts that you want people to associate with your brand. And every single week, you should be putting out video content, written content, image content that reinforces these ideas. For example, for me on LinkedIn, I constantly talk about things like Reddit marketing, generative engine optimization, content distribution, and how AI is going to be a threat to mediocre marketers. These are things that I talk about often because they are things that I actually care about. And by creating and talking about these things regularly, people associate these topics with my personal brand. You want to create stories once and distribute them forever. This methodology works wonders, and I encourage you to embrace it as well if you want your personal brand to go from being unknown to being someone on LinkedIn that generates leads organically every single day. The 6th strategy to tap into on LinkedIn for generating leads is to really lean in to video. It builds rapport and it builds trust. I love text, it builds authority. I love audio, it builds connection. But with video, you build trust faster than anything else. Here's why. On LinkedIn, people see text posts all the time, and you should use them, especially with a captivating hook to lure someone in. But it's your face and your voice that really makes it feel personal, that really makes people feel like they know you. Watching you talk creates familiarity. The same way that listening to a podcast makes you feel like you know the host, when people are constantly seeing your video content, when they're watching you actually speak into a camera, by the time they meet you at a conference, they feel like they've already had a relationship. They feel like they've had 20, 30 conversations with you. This is why video is so powerful. If I asked you to think about someone who you look up to, it's very likely you can picture their face and you can probably even hear their voice. Why? Because video content works. If you're curious about how you can do this, here's a simple tip. Don't be afraid to pull out your phone and share a quick selfie style video, 30 to 60 seconds, filmed casually, just sharing one lesson or one story about something that you've done. Or let's go behind the scenes. Show people clips of what you and your team are doing. Give a product demo, record your screen, and talk about your product and how it can help people. Do a recap of an event that you were at. And then finally, do not sleep on, and I talked about this earlier, the power of a pattern interrupt with videos in the DMs. Giving somebody a quick 20 to 30 second video clip in their DMs is an easy way to stand out amongst all of the text and the copy and paste AI slop that people are seeing in their DMs every single day. So do it. And if you want to get really out there, don't be afraid to go live. Go live on LinkedIn, host a Q&A, and capture people's attention, which takes me to the last strategy. The 7th strategy for generating leads on LinkedIn is to capture people's attention fast. If that first line, that first sentence doesn't stop people from scrolling, nothing else matters. Punch them in the face. Give them data right away that makes them stop scrolling. On LinkedIn, people skim like they're speed walking through Times Square. Your hook needs to be the thing that makes them stop and then click the most important thing on LinkedIn, see more. And that's what gives you a shot. Your shot is when you hook people to clicking see more. And a good hook does a few simple things. One, it stops the scroll. You can do this by tapping into curiosity with a bold claim or pattern interrupts. You want to ensure that that headline might build credibility. People love numbers. The more specific, the more vulnerable you can get with your content, the better. You want your hook to signal relevance, why this matters to them. I love calling out the job title of the person I'm trying to reach in my actual captions, especially in that first line. So it's only them who click the see more. Folks, you want to make sure that your hook doesn't just kind of show up. It needs to punch. It needs to wake people up and make them want to read. And if you embrace those strategies, those are ways that you will generate more leads on LinkedIn than ever before. Folks, so today we went through a system for using LinkedIn without relying exclusively on cold InMails, without using the cookie cutter DMs. We talked about optimizing your profile for success, sending messages that are actually going to get reply, using pattern interrupts like videos and even voice notes, building trust through content, drawing people in. Folks, if you want to take this further, don't forget what I talked about early on. There's a free guide linked below, Mastering Business Growth on LinkedIn. It's packed with templates, checklists to help you put these strategies into action. And folks, I'd love to hear what you think. What is something that you have found challenging about LinkedIn? Is it getting responses to your DMs? Is it building your presence or measuring results? Drop your thoughts about your biggest challenges in the comments below. I read all of them and I will try to get back to you with some tips tailored to you. And if you're also thinking about how LinkedIn fits into your bigger marketing and lead generation strategy, make sure to check out some of the other video content on this profile, specifically the video on local SEO. It connects the dots between social presence and search visibility. Folks, thank you so much for watching. If you found this helpful, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next breakdown. I'll see you on the internet.